What's up?
What's crack-a-lacking?
Another day in paradise. Mr. Stasek, how are you, brother?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good morning, good afternoon.
What's good? Somebody's got to have some great news out there. What do we got? What's some good news?
And we had our call on Monday with our recruiting leaders, and one of our guys had, I think, a record month for February and brought 4 frontliners on. And man, I'm just seeing momentum moving in the right direction, and that's really inspiring to see, since we've had, we've taken a couple steps back, and with regard to agent count and stuff like that, and new competitors coming in and everything like that. But people are winning in that group, and the thing that really made me smile was the amount of sharing that was going on. With some of the people that are running a webinar that they just have it dialed in, like James Mazzy, and we had people in there just sharing and opening up the playbook. It's the thing that we talk about all the time. And really, everyone has that's in that group on Mondays, that mentality. I just felt it more on yesterday than I have in a while. So it was just put a smile on my face, made me proud of this group that we've been blessed to serve, And so that's my positive focus.
Right on, man.
I love it.
What's up, Carl?
What's up, everybody, man? Jumping in. Whatever's on your mind, any questions you have, feel free to throw it in the comments. Whatever you guys are struggling with or wrestling with. And, I love hearing that, Al. Obviously, guys, everything, information-wise, system-wise, everything that you guys need is at your fingertips, honeybadgernation.com. Go-to resource for everything. If you can't find it, hit one of us up. We'll definitely get you in the right direction or point you there for sure. Hearing that, like, no matter what we do, it really comes down to having some type of system, some type of process, some type of structure to run through. And, so like hearing that, and I think for the most part, like, I mean, it's traffic and conversion, right? And then obviously the fulfillment side of things, whatever you're promising, keeping the promise. But not only from your experience, but what you're seeing, those that are committed to increase headcount in some capacity, either, within from an organization standpoint or directly to like a team. Like, what do you see that these agents, they just getting in the way, right? They're stuck. What is it? What's holding a lot of these agents back, or these leaders back from, taking the right approach to increasing headcount?
Jay, you got an opinion on that?
I mean, the people that we talk to, more regularly aren't being held back. That was my initial thought. The ones that are, I would venture to say, just from my past experiences of 3-way calls and calls that people jump on my calendar and want to get started with agent attraction. They haven't gone through the training, aren't following the process. Like, that's and then it just comes down to a simple metric of conversations. I mean, you're not having enough conversations. That would be my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. I agree with everything Jay said. I would say that the things that I see people getting in their way is, so especially in the last, let's say, 12 months, things have changed as far as, people's ability to put more transactions on the board, which then affects their income. So that's going to affect their focus. And I think juggling, like, okay, well, when do I have time? When should I cut the time out to do this? And I remember, Brent Gove saying, like, when he joined the company 7 years ago, he blocked out Fridays. Like everything else, he was still running a $100 million team out of California, and he blocked out Fridays for nothing but agent attraction. And that's just what he did that day. Now, sure, were there times where he'd take a call or do something in between? Sure. But that was just the day. So it comes down to having the discipline of time management, being able to manage your calendar. It's the first thing we tell everybody. I was just on a phone I was literally just on a Zoom with a Keller Williams agent, newer agent, 4 children under the age of 5. Her oldest is 5. When she told me that, I was like, God, she still wants to succeed in real estate at a high level. She got her license while she was pregnant the last time. And this is someone who we don't have to coach her to be hungry. This lady's hungry. I love working with people like this, right? Big challenge. Most of the people listening to this don't have that kind of constraint, you know, four littles running around. That's just tough. And so, you know, I think it boils down to like the first thing I said to her name is Sandy is we have to get your calendar in order. If I was coaching you today, the first sort of business that we have to sort out is to nail your calendar. You don't have an option not to when you have that kind of stuff going on. So like, you know, where there's a will, there's going to be a way. You have to commit, and it starts, I believe, with their calendar. And I think the other thing too is that people get discouraged and they stop. I think that's the other thing. Where, you know, I see them coming out of the gates. They'll put a couple 3-way calls in our calendar, and then I won't see them for 4 months. Mm-hmm. So I think that they get, you know, there's an expectation that the results should be coming right away, and that's just not how this game is played. So, you know, I've had to learn the whole trade of patience myself. But Carl Cooper, what's going on? Thank you for chiming in, and Carla Davis. Invite others not only to agent attraction events, but also classes that just provide value. Yes, absolutely. And that's, you know, and that's the other thing too, is like, look, if you're in an area where there's leaders that are doing events, leverage those events and invite your guests and go to the events with them. We just did a panel. It was one of the best panels I've seen done. Andrea Maple, Andrea Timko, now Andrea Maple, her and a small group put it on. Great panel. We had a couple Keller Williams agents, one EXP agent. Sue Sassville was on it actually, and I got to bring Aiden to it because he's actually going to be taking his test, I think, this week again. And so, like, just a phenomenal event. There was 100 people in the room. People loved it. They had a charcuterie board and some wine and spritzers, and everyone had a great time, connected from all different brands, and just lead with that value. So, you know, leverage. There's a way out there to do it. I'd say leverage, and get that calendar dialed in.
Yes, sir. Carl, I would say, you know, you just haven't done enough of them yet. And it's the, you know, I love, you know, sharing the story with the ATL crew. You know, I remember, you know, divided and conquered, right? But they knew that they had to, it's frequency and reach, right? It's the marketing principle. It's even the same thing with the events. What makes it easier for a lot of people that I've seen is it's easy to invite them to something, right? You know, Vincent Koo, I mean, he just harped on this. He said, you know, the number one thing that you want to be successful with this, if you can like hone any skill, it's the skill of invite. In being able to invite them to something. And, you know, just that's like we say, stay curious. What's the goal? Where are you struggling with? Where do you know that you can no longer stay? I mean, are you satisfied with those numbers? Great. Hey, I got something. I got free training for you. I got an event for you. Always have something in your back pocket that you can invite them to. And then when you invite, and the reality is, guys, is that if they can't show up to the event, it's the power of the invite. They got invited. And then you're going to invite them again if they can't make it. But human nature is about that 3rd or 4th time that you get invited and you kind of turn it down. Human nature is like, shit, if I don't go, I'm never going to get invited again. And you go. And I mean, it's what happened with me with Spear Rocket with Mikey, right? Mikey kept inviting me to play golf. And I was like, man, I really couldn't make it work. And I had to shuffle some things around. I was like, because if I don't go play golf with Mikey this time, I'm never getting invited again. And thank goodness I go, right. The 9 holes with Nick Good next to me on the cart. And I get to listen to him bitch about people, and solution is possibly, you know, this guy named Justin Nelson was Sphere Rocket. And, you know, 3.5 years later here, here we are and where Justin's at. But that was just the power of the invite in human nature with people that at some point they're going to show up. And so, you know, the ATL crew lesson was divide and conquer, and have something for them. It was something every week. It was a straight up lunch and learn that talked about EXP, the EXP model kind of explained. They had a true mastermind. They had a true training. and they just rotated and they had something. And I remember them telling me, they would send me pictures. It was just them. Nobody showed up. They didn't even have one person show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then one person turned to 3, turned to 10, turned to 20. But that's the consistency, right? That's the recipe at the temperature, and know it takes a set amount of time for that to really take root. And Al, you proved it in Cleveland before the pandemic. I mean, you guys were committed monthly. The events were incredible. I mean, you guys, you did it, but it's the power of consistency.
Yep. And no one's done it better and more consistently than the Atlanta group. I mean, those guys have been doing that mastermind consistently. They, in addition, have created groups for scripts, dialogues, and role playing and stuff like that. And it's consistently, they don't miss. No. And it shows. Look at all of them. Look at that group right there of just badasses that are playing at a high level. And I think James said that he has on average 1 to 2 recruiting appointments a day. You know, not just from his funnel, but from his mastermind group that they've been just committed to for the last, what has it been, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
That so like I love seeing them win. But we know what the secret is that it's just consistency
over time.
Yep.
Consistency over time.
They didn't give up when it was like, there's nobody coming to this thing. Nope. They just did it again and did it again and did it again.
You know, it's man, one of my favorite lessons out of the new Red Book is where he asked the poker question, right? Brunson or whatever was asked, you know, hey, who's the new up and coming, you know, poker stars? And he said, I don't know. Ask me in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like that hit, right? That hit. And I think some of our superpowers is that we can just stay in the fight longer than anybody else. And know that, you know, anything worth building takes time. And think about it. I mean, we're only 7 years in with us, with our run with EXP. We ain't even hit where magic starts to happen in years 10 through 15 and beyond.
Right.
So like if you think like, if y'all listening in, like, oh man, I missed that boat. Like, listen guys, we're 7 years in and we ain't even got started. And so, you know, greatness happens, you know, at around that decade mark.
Yeah.
Yep. No doubt about that, man. There was events. I remember there was time when we were doing events and we were sending Brian Moses on the road, and he would send a picture to us, and there would be like 2 or 3 people in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like getting people, you know, to events. You know, it's also the compound effect. Like you know, and I agree with Carla's comment to Carl here. It's way easier to invite to something that adds value than to something that's, you know, straight up, you know, EXP offer. Yeah. So, you know, I would consider shifting that to something of value, easier to invite to. And the importance of that is, you know, what John said a minute ago is, you know, the importance of learning how to invite. When you had a group of 10 and then a group of 20 and then a group of 50, and you got all of them able to invite to something, it's way easier to invite to something that's a value add than it is to invite to an EXP agent attraction event. And so, you know, because then they feel like they're recruiting. And a lot of people don't want to feel like they're recruiting. We hear that all the time. I don't want to recruit. No, you don't have to recruit. Just find people you want to help. Invite them to this mastermind, or we're going to do, you know, this training on this particular day. Those are way, way easier to invite to, which is why, you know, the whole video that we have, you know, in Rapid Funnel is not just about, you know, moving over to EXP. It's about what your partners are doing to help you grow your business. That's a different message, easier to invite to.
Yeah, Carla, so true, right? You know, just we're fans of Fight Club, so you got to remember, you know, the first rule of Fight Club. It's the same rule of EXP. You know, you just don't talk about EXP. You got to talk about them, right? And I think when I hear people say this, Al, about I EXP'd all over them, is that you're just trying to be the hero, and you're not stepping back and realize that you're just the guide. And the only way that the guide can be successful is knowing where that individual is at and knowing where they want to go. And then our job as the guide is then to be able to help them. And, you know, the simplest way to think about this is that ask questions of where they're at and get them to feel how miserable and how painful, and that they just know with certainty that they can't stay in this life anymore. They just don't know what to do. They know they want to be better. They know they want, you know, that's the other side, right? Is the other side of the mountain or the other side of the canyon is like, what does life look like? Wave the magic wand. Like everything's perfect. What does it look like? It's on that side of the mountain. And your job as the guide is to help lay the bridge out that's going to get them from one side of the canyon to the other. You do that, you win. And so it's just real simple like that. I mean, we talk about it all the time. The default, I mean, what's the goal? What are you trying to do? Where are you stuck? What are you wrestling with? What do you need help with? Where do you want to go? What does that look like? Hey, if I know a guy that can lay that bridge for you, would you want to talk to him? Of course I would love to talk to him. Great. 3-way call, right? I mean, it's just, it flows for us guys listening in because this is 7 years of really figuring this out, and we ain't got it figured out. And it's just that constant improvement of like, okay, how do we get better? How do we articulate it better? How do we reframe it better? But the principle is the principle. Identify where they're at. You're the guide. You're not the hero, and you're going to get them across the canyon to where they want to be.
Yep.
Well said.
Yep. And kind of piggybacking on the whole event thing, if you're not in an area, or even if you are, but if you're not in an area where there's live events where someone, either you or someone that's in your direct location market is doing an event that you can invite to, we are now, so the Thursday call with Wally Bressler is now going to be boot camp. We're doing a boot camp event every single week in Honey Badger Nation, and anyone is invited. Literally invite your colleagues, invite your EXP friends, invite your friends that are outside of the organization of EXP, and get them to this. This is where, especially, I'm going to emphasize, especially the newer agents or agents who've only been in the business maybe a few years, and they're ready. Like now they're ready to get the marbles out of their mouth, learn scripts, dialogues, get skilled, get good. Boot camp is the place for them to be. And that's Thursdays at noon Eastern time, honeybadgernation.com. Get in there and register and use that link as your lead in. There's nothing in there we don't talk about EXP. Wally focuses on skills. He focuses on rebuttals. He focuses on those foundational skill building things that, if you want to get to a high level in this business, you got to learn it. It's got to be embedded in your brain, so you're not even thinking about it, and you're getting to that unconsciously competent level. That's what that weekly course boot camp event on Thursday is going to do. Use that thing and say, hey, check out, have you ever been to one of our boot camps? You got to check this out. One of the best coaches in the nation, Wally Bressler, has coached dozens of people to be number one in their market, and he's teaching this stuff. I mean, you can't, if you're going to pay for it, it's thousands of dollars a year, and just come in as one of our guests. Position it. Use your sales skills. Position it as a benefit, because it is, and use that. You can do it right now after this call. Go and send it. I dare you to go send it to 5 people of your friends, who might be struggling. Like, hey man, I've been, gone to a couple of these boot camps, and they're pretty awesome. And that is really where the momentum is going to start to pick up. And I'm going to tell you guys, that's how the Fast Forward Movement Mastermind has grown to 600. It's because they keep inviting people from outside to come check this out and ask their questions and learn. And so I believe we can do that with that Thursday call. So
I love it. And what's so cool, man, about boot camp, and the thing with agents, they don't have a system. They don't have a system for buyers. They don't have a system for listings. It's all wing it, right? That's their go-to default, is just fucking wing it. And you can with buyers. You can just make a friend, and you're going to be successful more times than not if you can just make a friend. But the reason that we all know this, the reason that agents kind of shy away from the listing side is because they don't have a framework. They don't have a system to follow, to just execute on, right? To commit to have the courage to just trust the process and develop those skills, those capabilities, because the confidence comes later. Confidence comes after commitment, but you got to have a system. You got to have a structure, and CHSA is that. Like, literally, I know with absolute certainty, understanding the principles, and these guys listening, what Wally teaches and what comes out of boot camp are timeless principles that travel. And what I mean by travel, it travels geographical location, it travels different price points in your market, and it travels different market conditions. It works anywhere, anytime, whatever's going on in the real estate world, that works. And that's what you're looking for, guys. You're not looking for tips and tricks, the next big thing, this is working. No, you look for things that are foundational that you can really build upon, and you got to have the framework, right? You got to know how to, once, we're not going to talk marketing, but once you get an opportunity, you got to know how to engage with it. You got to know what to say to it. You got to know how to get them to agree to want to meet with you. Once they agree that, then you got to talk to them of, qualify them, make sure they're worthy of your time and their time to meet. Then you've got some things that are going to do the heavy lifting for you until you meet. Then you meet, you build rapport. Then you kind of lay out the process you go through to where they believe that you have the best system to help them achieve the goals that they're after. Then from there, you sign the paperwork and get into fulfillment. But like that stuff right there, like, geez, man, like decade that I've actually been in somebody's living room. But with certainty, I know I could walk into somebody's living room right now, knowing that process, that foundation, and, be able to kind of go through the right things in the right order.
Yep. Good shit.
What's up, everybody, man? What's on your mind? What questions do you have? We jump in here with you guys live every Tuesday, 11 Central, noon Eastern. What is it? Way out east with you, cuz. And
yep, I'm way out east.
Way out east. And so, we come in here live to you guys. Take advantage. Jump in, ask any dang question you have. What's on your mind? What can we help you with? What are you wrestling with? Agent attraction? What are you wrestling with? Business, traffic conversion, fulfillment, whatever it is. Feel free to hit us up. Throw it in the comments. Give us something to talk about. What's going on with any updates from EXP as a whole? Any updates on the market? Any updates from competition?
Market data is interesting, and it's different in every marketplace. I've been there's a couple of things, obviously keeping current matters, but another one called Calculated Risk is another newsletter I signed up for, and it was going through the inventory, whether inventory is up or down, and how much across most of the major metropolitans and cities and all that. And inventory is up. I think it's up 15% or better. Some markets more, some markets less, but it's still down compared to what it was in 2019. So it's still low inventory, but it seems to be climbing in most markets.
Interesting.
So pay attention to your data because every marketplace is landscape's starting to change. And then as far as EXP goes, I anything that between now and March 11th, I'm under an NDA, so I can't share anything, unfortunately. Good things are coming. We know that.
I love it. So it looks like we'll be back with this crew the day after. So that ought to be a fun conversation on March 12th. That'll be good.
Can't wait to come down to the Big D. Well, Dallas. See my Dallas friends.
Got some questions in there, kind of conversion rates on webinar that you guys are seeing, and then also any feedback or update on daughter Judy list leads.
I got 1 second. I'll answer both of those. Where's my update? So cost per click on webinars averaging $2.09. We're averaging 956 registers a month. Landing page conversion is varied, but around 12.5%. 14.79% landing page conversion. That's lighter than I'd like to see. Cost per register about $15. And forms filled out after is 145 or 15.28% conversion to filling out the form. And a cost per scheduled appointment is averaging about 180, 190 bucks.
It's very expensive. So far.
Yeah.
That's the short of it. And actually, James Mazzy's webinar, it's performing as far as a cost per appointment, even better than ours. So
yeah.
I don't know about the number of people that he's getting into the calendar. Well, I do. It's 1 to 2 a day. So he's getting, I'd say probably 9 to 12 a week. And we were getting, when we just had this thing full blast, all coming into my calendar, 20 to 30 appointments a week. You don't need to spend that kind of money to get those types of results. Mazzy's kind of proven that. But yep, keep working on it.
Yep,
it's a work in progress.
And on the daughter Judy list leads, no update on that. This guy's gone completely dark, doesn't respond to me. And if you bought it, I would ask for your money back, or I would charge it back. That's where I'm at with that guy. Fuck that guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so I love that, man. Staying plugged in, kind of kind of keeping current matters, calculated risk, the higher levels, and then even if you're just 100% focused on agent attraction, man, you got to know what's going on in the market, so you kind of have you have that gauge of the pain points, kind of what agents are wrestling with, and then drilling down to some type of metrics and reports, regional, state, market specific, and then you can dive deeper with the other tools out there. Our go-tos were always real market reports. I know Altos is fantastic. We used them for some period of time, and I know they've way upgraded from when we used to use them. And then, Focus First. Focus First. Those are the tools. Cool. What else, fellas? Anything else that we want to arm these honey badgers with heading into this week?
I'll just give a couple shout outs. One to Joe Brickman. We have several of my frontline guys who have jumped on to Joe's. I think it's a 90-day challenge. And one of them is our buddy from Lawton. And they're just seeing massive results. And if anything, just only from the consistency that he's leading and providing to, their daily activities. I think right now they're on like a 30-day go live once type of a deal, once a day for 30 days. And again, building that muscle of consistency, that's what he's doing. So thank you so much, Joe, for pouring into the community here and helping so many people. I just keep getting great feedback from the people that are in that program. The other program I'm going to shout out to is Dave Zajensky. I hope I always murder that name, but Zajdzinski, Zajensky. Dave's got, his remote agent. I think they're like 6 weeks into that program right now. Again, hearing great feedback. I popped into last week's training, and he was going over the listing presentation and the buyer because he does everything virtually. Everything he lists homes, doesn't show it. And it was funny because it was like being back at boot camp. I mean, he took a lot, at least I think he took a lot of the same principles, like because you were mentioning Focus First. He uses Focus First in his deal. He builds trust. He builds authority. He just goes through the steps that don't change. Now, his presentation is not exactly like the CHSA, CHBA, but it has all the same components to it. So it was refreshing. And I was just like, as soon as I'm listening, I'm like, this dude's nailing it. So great job, Dave. Thanks for, again, pouring back into the community. I fully endorse that program. Allison she's been on every week. I've been on 1 or 2 weeks and very impressed. Love seeing everyone pouring into the community. So great job.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, guys, lay of the land. Got Nolly back on with us at Expert Mentors tomorrow. So looking forward to that. As always, fantastic. Get him wound up and let him go. It's going to be great. And then we've got, like you said, Wally's training calls on Thursday. Fridays, some traffic stuff with Braden. So we've got it covered. Obviously, everything's inside of honeybadgernation.com. Get all the links, resources, get your calendar set, everybody. Get your calendars, get these in there, and then use the calls to invite people to the call with Nolly tomorrow. Invite people to join with Wally. Invite people to come chat and listen to Braden. And we're covering traffic, we're covering conversion, we're covering new ideas, what's working well in today's market, right from the honey badgers in this group with Expert Mentors. So we've got you guys covered. Honeybadgernation.com. And if you got any other questions, hit us up.
Oh man, Dave, I don't know who's directing the sports division, but we're going to be interviewing them live on Honey Badger Nation. Oh, a couple things tomorrow. Jay, who do we got tomorrow? We're bringing Farman. Hang on, I got it right here. Allison sent it to me. We have the guy that's in charge of Farm and Ranch Division, and that would be Tony King.
That's right.
Yeah, Tony's a G. So we got him tomorrow live in Honey Badger Nation. We're going to be going over the farm and ranch division, what that means if you live in a rural area where there's a lot of those types of opportunities, and what this division is going to be putting in the realm in the form of tools to help you list more of those properties and sell them. So make sure you guys tune in. You know what time it was, Jay? Let me see if I got it on the calendar here. Let's see. That would be, I don't know. Oh,
I had it. I know I put it in a post. I thought I had it in a document, but I can't find it.
It's 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Cool.
11 a.m. Eastern time. Yeah.
Hey, David, look for posts that I've posted in Honey Badger Nation. It's probably one of the more recent posts that I made. So I know I put it in a post with the names of everybody. So that's in there.
I'll have Holly pin it.
It's almost coming to me. Okay, cool.
Awesome. Appreciate you
right.
guys.
Awesome, guys.
Great week.
Later.